Life is a constant battle between what we want to control and what is truly within our grasp. We often find ourselves caught in a whirlwind of frustration, trying to manipulate outcomes that are far beyond our influence. This struggle not only drains our energy but also robs us of the peace and clarity needed to tackle what we can change. Imagine a sailor in the midst of a storm. He cannot stop the wind or calm the waves, but he can adjust his sails, navigate skillfully, and keep his focus on the horizon. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, emphasized this distinction when he said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This simple yet profound truth is the cornerstone of Stoic wisdom. In our daily lives, this principle invites us to take a step back and reflect. Are we expending precious energy on things outside our control, such as other people's opinions, the weather, or the past? By shifting our focus inward, we unlock the power to influence our thoughts, decisions, and actions. This mindset shift doesn't mean apathy or indifference. It means recognizing where our efforts will have the most impact and letting go of the rest. For example, you may not control the behavior of a difficult coworker, but you can control how you respond to their actions. Instead of reacting emotionally, you can choose patience, understanding, or even strategic detachment. Over time, this approach builds resilience and fosters a sense of empowerment. Acceptance, as the Stoics teach, is not a sign of weakness, but a demonstration of profound strength. It is the ability to say, "This is outside my control, but I will not let it control me." This perspective liberates us from the prison of futile worries and allows us to channel our efforts toward growth, improvement, and meaningful progress. Consider the story of Admiral James Stockdale, a U.S. Navy officer who survived years' imprisonment and torture during the Vietnam War. He credited Stoicism for helping him endure the ordeal, focusing on what he could control: his attitude, his principles, and his resilience, while accepting the brutal conditions he couldn't change. His story is a powerful testament to the transformative power of this Stoic principle. In your own life, you can start small. Identify one worry or frustration that is outside your control and consciously decide to let it go. Replace it with a commitment to take action in an area where you can make a difference, no matter how small. This practice, repeated daily, will not only reduce stress but also build the inner strength and clarity needed to tackle life's challenges effectively. Remember, freedom lies not in changing external circumstances, but in mastering our internal world. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed, pause and ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? What can I let go of? The answers to these questions hold the key to a calmer, more focused, and ultimately more fulfilling life. The idea of taking action over perfection is a powerful principle that strikes at the core of human progress, yet it's one of the hardest to implement in a world obsessed with ideal outcomes and flawless execution. From the time we're children, we're conditioned to believe that mistakes are failures rather than stepping stones to success. Think about this for a moment. How many opportunities have you let slip through your fingers because you were waiting for the perfect moment or feared falling short of your own high standards? The truth is, perfection is an illusion, a moving target that often leads to paralysis by analysis, keeping us stuck in a cycle of overthinking and inaction. Life rewards those who take bold, imperfect steps rather than waiting endlessly for the stars to align. As Epictetus wisely observed, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, obstacles are not barriers. They are opportunities to grow and improve through the act of doing. Let's break this down further. When you're focused on perfection, you're essentially trying to eliminate all risk, all error, and all uncertainty before you even begin. But here's the catch. Every great achievement in history started with someone stepping into the unknown, embracing the possibility of failure, and learning as they went. Thomas Edison didn't perfect the light bulb in a single attempt. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Each failure brought him closer to success because he was willing to act, experiment, and adapt. Now, think about your own life. What dreams or goals have you shelved because you're waiting for the right time, the right skills, or the right resources? Maybe it's starting that side hustle, pursuing a new career, or even something as personal as getting back into shape. The irony is that waiting for perfection often leads to stagnation, while action, even imperfect action, creates momentum. Momentum, in turn, breeds confidence and clarity, helping you refine your efforts and eventually achieve results that far surpass your initial expectations. Consider the example of writing a book. Many aspiring authors dream of penning the perfect manuscript, but that dream remains just that, a dream, because they're too afraid to write the first imperfect draft. The magic of progress lies in iteration, not in getting it right the first time. The first draft doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to exist. Once it's on paper, you have something tangible to improve upon. This principle applies to nearly every aspect of life. The business plan that's riddled with flaws can still attract investors. The fitness routine that's far from perfect can still yield results. The relationship that begins awkwardly can still blossom into something meaningful. The key is to start, no matter how messy or uncertain the process might feel. Perfectionism often masks itself as a noble pursuit, but in reality it's a form of fear of failure, fear of not being enough. The antidote to this fear is action. Action, even when it's imperfect, is a declaration of self-belief. It's a way of saying, I'm willing to bet on myself and my ability to grow through this process. And growth is what life is all about. Every action you take, no matter how small, is a vote for the person you want to become. Over time, these small votes accumulate into something remarkable: a career, a business, a healthier body, a more fulfilling life. One of the best ways to overcome the perfection trap is to reframe your mindset. Instead of asking, how can I make this perfect? Ask, what's the smallest step I can take to move forward? This shift in perspective frees you from the burden of perfection and encourages you to focus on progress instead. Progress is achievable, perfection is not, and the beauty of progress is that it compounds. A single step, repeated consistently, becomes a mile. A single act of courage repeated daily transforms into unshakable confidence. Another important aspect of embracing action over perfection is recognizing that mistakes are not the end of the road. They are guideposts that point you in the right direction. Mistakes provide valuable feedback, showing you what works and what doesn't. Without them, you remain in a bubble of inaction, disconnected from reality and deprived of the lessons that only experience can teach. So, instead of fearing mistakes, welcome them as part of the journey. Each misstep is a stepping stone, each failure a lesson, each setback an opportunity to build resilience. The stories of successful people are filled with failures, but what sets them apart is their willingness to keep moving forward despite those failures. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first television job. Steve Jobs was ousted from Apple, the very company he co-founded, before returning to revolutionize the tech industry. These individuals didn't let perfectionism or fear hold them back. They acted, learned, and adapted, turning their setbacks into comebacks. If they had waited for perfect circumstances, we wouldn't know their names today. The world is full of people who have brilliant ideas, but ideas alone are not enough. Execution is what separates dreamers from doers, and execution requires action. Even the most brilliant idea is worthless if it remains in your head, paralyzed by the pursuit of perfection. Imagine if the Wright brothers had waited for perfect weather conditions or a flawless design before attempting their first flight. The skies we take for granted today might still be unreachable. Their courage to act, to experiment, and to fail paved the way for human flight. In a similar vein, your willingness to take action, no matter how imperfect, can open doors you never imagined. One way to cultivate this habit is to set deadlines for yourself. Deadlines create urgency and force you to act rather than overthink. They push you to prioritize action over endless preparation. Remember, the best plan is the one you execute, not the one you perfect in theory. Another strategy is to embrace the concept of good enough for now. This doesn't mean settling for mediocrity. It means recognizing that perfection is an iterative process. Each version of your work, your skills, or your efforts is a stepping stone to something better. When you release the need for perfection, you give yourself permission to improve incrementally, which is how mastery is truly achieved. Finally, surround yourself with people who value action and progress over perfection. The company you keep has a profound impact on your mindset. When you're around action-oriented individuals, their energy and mindset become contagious. You'll find yourself inspired to take risks, to step outside your comfort zone and to embrace the messy, beautiful process of growth. In conclusion, taking action over perfection is not just a strategy for success, it's a way of life. It's about choosing courage over comfort, progress over paralysis, and growth over fear. It's about understanding that the journey is where the magic happens, not the destination. So, the next time you're tempted to wait for the perfect moment, remember this: the perfect moment is an illusion. The only moment you have is now. Take it, act on it, and trust that the process will guide you to where you're meant to be. Your best life is waiting, not in the realm of perfection, but in the realm of action. Start today. Negative visualization, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, serves as a profound tool for fostering resilience, gratitude, and clarity in the face of life's inevitable challenges. At its core, this practice invites us to imagine worst-case scenarios, not to dwell in fear or pessimism, but to prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally for any outcome. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, famously observed, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This insight underscores the irony of human experience. Much of our suffering arises not from actual events, but from the way our minds amplify fears and uncertainties. Negative visualization turns this dynamic on its head by allowing us to confront potential difficulties before they occur, thereby reducing their emotional impact and equipping us to respond with poise and purpose. Picture a man standing at the edge of a vast forest, contemplating a journey through its dense and shadowy paths. Without preparation, every rustle of leaves or snap of a twig might paralyze him with fear, each sound a potential harbinger of danger. However, if he takes the time to imagine the possible challenges he might face, a sudden storm, an encounter with a wild animal, or the disorientation of losing his way, he can equip himself with the tools and mindset to navigate the forest confidently. In much the same way, negative visualization enables us to anticipate and rehearse our responses to life's uncertainties, transforming fear into strategy and chaos into opportunity. Let's take a practical example. Imagine you're about to deliver a critical presentation at work. The stakes are high and the fear of failure looms large. By employing negative visualization, you might picture the projector malfunctioning, an unexpected question from the audience, or even forgetting a key point. Instead of succumbing to anxiety, this exercise prompts you to think, how would I handle this situation? What steps can I take to mitigate these risks? Perhaps you decide to bring printed handouts as a backup for the projector, research common questions related to your topic, or rehearse your presentation multiple times to build confidence. Through this process, you've not only reduced the likelihood of being caught off guard, but also fortified your ability to adapt if things don't go as planned. The beauty of negative visualization lies in its ability to shift our mindset from reactive to proactive. It encourages us to confront our fears head-on, acknowledging their existence without allowing them to dictate our actions. In doing so, we reclaim control over our emotional landscape, fostering a sense of calm and preparedness even in the face of uncertainty. Moreover, this practice serves as a potent antidote to complacency. When we imagine the loss of things we hold dear, a stable job, good health, or close relationships, we're reminded of their value and inspired to appreciate them more fully in the present. Consider the story of a woman who, upon reflecting on the possibility of losing her home to a natural disaster, began to cherish the small, everyday moments spent within its walls. The laughter shared over family dinners, the comfort of her favorite reading nook, and the sense of security it provided. This newfound gratitude not only deepened her connection to her home, but also motivated her to take practical steps to protect it, such as reinforcing its structure and creating an emergency plan. In this way, negative visualization acts as a dual force. It heightens our appreciation for what we have while galvanizing us to safeguard it. Another powerful aspect of negative visualization is its role in reducing the fear of the unknown. Many of our anxieties stem from uncertainty, the what-ifs that swirl in our minds and keep us awake at night. By intentionally exploring these what-ifs through negative visualization, we demystify them and strip them of their power to intimidate. Imagine a man who fears losing his job. Rather than allowing this fear to fester in the background, he actively visualizes the scenario, receiving the news, navigating the initial shock, and taking the steps needed to rebuild. Perhaps he envisions updating his resume, reaching out to his professional network, or even exploring new career paths that align with his passions. Through this exercise, he not only reduces the emotional sting of the imagined event, but also identifies actionable steps to mitigate its impact. As a result, the fear of job loss no longer holds him captive. Instead, it becomes a catalyst for growth and preparation. Critics of negative visualization might argue that focusing on worst-case scenarios could lead to unnecessary worry or pessimism. However, true negative visualization is not about catastrophizing or fixating on doom and gloom. Rather, it's a balanced and constructive process that acknowledges potential difficulties while reinforcing our capacity to face them. It's about building mental and emotional muscle memory so that when challenges arise, we're not paralyzed by fear, but empowered by foresight. Think of it as a mental dress rehearsal for life's unpredictability. Just as an athlete visualizes every move before stepping onto the field, or a pilot practices emergency protocols in a simulator, we can use negative visualization to prepare ourselves for the complexities of daily life. Beyond its practical applications, negative visualization also offers profound philosophical insights. It reminds us of the impermanence of all things and encourages us to live with greater mindfulness and intentionality. By contemplating the fragility of life, we're inspired to savor the present moment and prioritize what truly matters. Imagine a father who, through the practice of negative visualization, reflects on the fleeting nature of his children's childhood. This realization prompts him to be more present during family meals, to set aside his phone during playtime, and to capture memories that might otherwise have been lost to the business of life. In essence, negative visualization helps us recalibrate our priorities, ensuring that we invest our time and energy in ways that align with our deepest values. In conclusion, negative visualization is not merely a tool for managing fear, it's a transformative practice that enhances every aspect of our lives. It empowers us to face challenges with courage and clarity, deepens our appreciation for the blessings we often take for granted, and inspires us to live with greater purpose and presence. By embracing this Stoic principle, we can navigate life's uncertainties with resilience and grace, turning potential setbacks into opportunities for growth and self-discovery. The next time you find yourself gripped by fear or doubt, remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Confront your fears, visualize the worst, and use that vision to fortify your mind and spirit. In doing so, you'll not only weather life's storms, but emerge stronger, wiser, and more grounded than ever before. Embracing discomfort is one of the most powerful and transformative practices a person can adopt, yet it's often the most avoided aspect of self-improvement. In a world where comfort is increasingly accessible and celebrated, from climate-controlled homes to instant food delivery, the idea of intentionally seeking out discomfort may seem counterintuitive. However, it is within discomfort that true growth resides. Consider the physical process of building muscle. Lifting heavier weights than your body is accustomed to causes small tears in the muscle fibers, which then repair and grow stronger. This physical metaphor extends to nearly every domain of life. Discomfort challenges us to stretch beyond our perceived limits, to confront fears and insecurities, and to develop resilience in the face of adversity. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, aptly noted, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. it is because we do not dare that they are difficult. This statement encapsulates the essence of why embracing discomfort is essential for achieving our full potential. The avoidance of discomfort often stems from a deeply ingrained fear of failure, embarrassment, or pain. Yet, the truth is that these experiences, unpleasant as they may seem, are necessary catalysts for personal evolution. For example, consider the discomfort of waking up at 5 a.m. to exercise. The warmth of the bed beckons, and the thought of stepping out into the cold morning air feels unappealing. But the discipline of overcoming that initial discomfort leads to better health, increased energy, and a sense of accomplishment that lasts throughout the day. Each time we push through these moments of resistance, we strengthen our willpower and build the mental toughness required to tackle larger challenges. Beyond physical endeavors, embracing discomfort is equally transformative in emotional and intellectual realms. Difficult conversations, for instance, are often avoided because they bring feelings of vulnerability or confrontation. However, these conversations, whether it's asking for a raise, addressing a conflict, or expressing true feelings, are the foundation of authentic relationships and meaningful progress. Each time we face such discomfort, we grow in emotional intelligence, learning to navigate complex interpersonal dynamics with grace and integrity. Similarly, intellectual discomfort, the kind that arises from tackling a challenging project or learning a new skill, stimulates growth by forcing us to expand our knowledge and problem-solving abilities. The discomfort of grappling with unfamiliar concepts, making mistakes, or enduring moments of frustration is what ultimately leads to mastery and innovation. History is replete with examples of individuals who embraced discomfort and achieved extraordinary outcomes as a result. Think of Nelson Mandela, who endured 27 years of imprisonment under harsh conditions, yet emerged with a vision of reconciliation that transformed South Africa. Or consider Malala Yousafzai, who risked her life to advocate for girls' education in the face of oppressive regimes. These individuals did not shy away from discomfort. They confronted it head-on, understanding that it was the price of progress. On a smaller scale, ordinary individuals can harness the same principle in their everyday lives. By intentionally seeking discomfort, we train ourselves to become more adaptable and resourceful in the face of life's inevitable uncertainties. Taking cold showers, for instance, may seem like a trivial act, but it builds mental resilience by teaching us to endure temporary discomfort without panic or resistance. Similarly, volunteering for tasks outside of our comfort zone at work, such as public speaking or leading a new project, forces us to confront self-doubt and build confidence. Over time, these small acts of embracing discomfort accumulate, reshaping our identity and expanding our sense of what is possible. An important aspect of embracing discomfort is reframing our relationship with it. Instead of viewing discomfort as something to be avoided, we can learn to see it as a sign of growth. When we feel that pang of resistance, whether it's the hesitation before speaking up in a meeting or the anxiety of starting a new venture, we can choose to interpret it as a signal that we are on the brink of something meaningful. This mindset shift transforms discomfort from an obstacle into an opportunity. It encourages us to lean into the very experiences that scare us, knowing that they hold the key to our development. Additionally, embracing discomfort fosters a deep sense of gratitude and perspective. When we voluntarily expose ourselves to challenges, we develop a greater appreciation for life's comforts and privileges. For instance, fasting, a practice embraced by many ancient traditions, not only strengthens self-discipline but also deepens our gratitude for food and the abundance we often take for granted. Stepping out of our comfort zone to help others in need, whether through volunteering or acts of kindness, reminds us of our shared humanity and the importance of compassion. These experiences enrich our lives not by adding comfort, but by expanding our capacity to endure, to empathize, and to thrive. Embracing discomfort also prepares us to handle life's unavoidable hardships with greater resilience. While we cannot control every challenge that comes our way, whether it's a health crisis, a career setback, or the loss of a loved one, we can control how we respond. By regularly pushing ourselves out of our comfort zones, we build the mental and emotional fortitude to face adversity with courage and composure. This proactive approach to discomfort inoculates us against the shock of unexpected difficulties, enabling us to navigate them with a steady hand. Moreover, the practice of embracing discomfort cultivates a growth-oriented mindset. When we view challenges as opportunities rather than threats, we open ourselves to learning and discovery. Each uncomfortable experience becomes a chance to uncover hidden strengths, to test our limits, and to achieve goals that once seemed out of reach. This mindset not only enhances our personal growth, but also inspires those around us. When we lead by example, showing that discomfort is not something to fear but to embrace, we empower others to do the same. Ultimately, embracing discomfort is about choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term ease. It's about recognizing that the greatest rewards, whether it's achieving a lifelong dream, building meaningful relationships, or leaving a lasting legacy, often lie on the other side of discomfort. Each time we step into the arena of uncertainty and challenge, we move closer to becoming the best version of ourselves. The question is not whether we will encounter discomfort in life. That is inevitable. But whether we will allow it to hold us back or propel us forward. By choosing the latter, we unlock our potential and pave the way for a life of purpose, resilience, and extraordinary achievement. Remembering the bigger picture is one of the most profound practices for aligning our lives with purpose and meaning, especially in a world filled with distractions and trivial pursuits. It is a call to transcend the minutiae of daily life and anchor ourselves in a perspective that considers the vastness of existence and the impermanence of our time on this earth. This practice, central to Stoic philosophy, involves a conscious effort to rise above immediate concerns, frustrations, and temptations and reflect on the deeper values and priorities that define a fulfilling life. Memento mori, remember you will die, is a Stoic mantra that encapsulates this idea. Far from being morbid, it serves as a powerful reminder of life's fragility and urges us to make the most of every moment. When we embrace this perspective, we gain clarity about what truly matters, allowing us to let go of petty grievances, superficial desires, and distractions that pull us away from our goals and values. Imagine for a moment the timeline of human existence, billions of years of evolution leading to the present, where each of us occupies only a fleeting moment. The vastness of this timeline can be humbling, but it also highlights the immense privilege of being alive. This perspective helps us appreciate the significance of our choices, no matter how small they may seem. Each decision, each action, and each interaction becomes an opportunity to contribute to something greater than ourselves. For example, consider the individual who chooses to dedicate their life to teaching, not for fame or wealth, but to inspire future generations. This person understands the bigger picture that their efforts, though seemingly modest, can ripple outward and influence countless lives in ways they may never see. Remembering the bigger picture also helps us navigate challenges with resilience and grace. When faced with setbacks or adversity, it's easy to become consumed by frustration or despair. But when we zoom out and view these difficulties in the context of a larger narrative, they often lose their sting. A failure at work, for instance, may feel devastating in the moment, but when considered alongside a lifetime of growth, learning, and achievements, it becomes just another chapter in a much larger story. This perspective not only reduces the emotional impact of setbacks, but also empowers us to learn from them and move forward with renewed determination. Another aspect of remembering the bigger picture is recognizing the interconnectedness of all things. We are not isolated individuals, we are part of a vast, intricate web of relationships, communities, and ecosystems. Every action we take, whether it's supporting a friend, voting in an election, or reducing our environmental footprint, has the potential to create ripples that extend far beyond our immediate surroundings. This interconnectedness is both humbling and inspiring. It reminds us that our lives are not just about personal success or comfort, but about contributing to the greater good and leaving a positive legacy for those who come after us. This mindset can also deepen our relationships. as we begin to see others not as obstacles or competitors, but as fellow travelers on the same journey. Empathy, compassion, and understanding naturally arise when we view our interactions through the lens of the bigger picture. For instance, a heated argument with a loved one can be seen not as a battle to be won, but as an opportunity to strengthen the bond and work through differences in a way that honors the relationship's long-term value. Similarly, acts of kindness, whether it's helping a stranger, volunteering, or simply listening to someone in need, take on greater significance when we recognize the cumulative impact of these small, positive actions. Remembering the bigger picture also encourages us to prioritize what truly matters in life. In the hustle and bustle of daily existence, it's easy to become preoccupied with trivial pursuits or superficial measures of success, such as accumulating wealth, status, or possessions. But when we reflect on the bigger picture, we realize that these things are fleeting and ultimately unfulfilling. True fulfillment comes from aligning our actions with our values, nurturing meaningful relationships, and contributing to something larger than ourselves. For many, this means pursuing a sense of purpose, whether through their work, their passions, or their service to others. Purpose provides a compass that guides our decisions and gives our lives direction, even in the face of uncertainty or hardship. It's what keeps us grounded when the storms of life threaten to pull us off course. In addition to guiding our priorities, remembering the bigger picture can also bring a profound sense of gratitude. When we step back and consider the countless factors that have allowed us to exist, from the stability of the planet to the sacrifices of those who came before us, it's hard not to feel a deep sense of appreciation. This gratitude can transform our outlook, shifting our focus from what we lack to what we have. It reminds us to savor the simple joys of life, such as the warmth of the sun, the laughter of a child, or the beauty of a starry night. These moments, though seemingly small, are the threads that weave together a life of richness and meaning. Furthermore, remembering the bigger picture can inspire us to embrace change and impermanence with open arms. Life is constantly evolving, and clinging to the past or resisting change only leads to suffering. By acknowledging the transient nature of all things, we can learn to let go of attachments that no longer serve us and make room for new opportunities and experiences. This mindset not only reduces fear and anxiety, but also allows us to approach life with a sense of curiosity and wonder. We begin to see each day as a gift, each challenge as a lesson, and each interaction as a chance to connect and grow. Perhaps one of the most profound benefits of remembering the bigger picture is the sense of peace it brings. When we stop sweating the small stuff and focus on what truly matters, we free ourselves from the constant cycle of worry and stress that plagues so many. We become more present, more intentional, and more attuned to the beauty and complexity of the world around us. This peace is not the absence of challenges, but the ability to face them with equanimity, knowing that they are part of a much larger tapestry. In conclusion, remembering the bigger picture is not just a philosophical exercise, it is a way of life that brings clarity, purpose, and fulfillment. It invites us to rise above the noise and distractions of daily life and align ourselves with what truly matters. It reminds us that we are part of something greater than ourselves, and that our choices, however small, have the power to shape the world in profound ways. By embracing this perspective, we can navigate life's complexities with grace, resilience, and a deep sense of gratitude, knowing that every moment is an opportunity to contribute to the story of humanity and leave a lasting legacy. Gratitude is one of the most transformatives in life, capable of shifting our perspective, enhancing our well-being, and fostering deeper connections with others. It is not merely a fleeting feeling of appreciation, but a deliberate practice that reshapes the way we perceive and interact with the world. At its core, gratitude invites us to recognize the abundance present in our lives, no matter how modest it may seem, and to find joy in the ordinary. It reminds us that contentment is not about acquiring more, but about appreciating what we already have. The power of gratitude lies in its ability to coax from what is lacking to what is present, from scarcity to sufficiency. and from frustration to fulfillment. In a society that equates happiness with material success and relentless striving, gratitude serves as an antidote to the endless cycle of wanting more. When we pause to reflect on the blessings in our lives, a warm meal, a roof over our heads, the support of loved ones, we begin to see that we are already rich in many ways. This shift in perspective can have profound effects on our mental and emotional well-being. Studies have shown that individuals who practice gratitude regularly experience greater happiness, lower levels of stress, and improved physical health. This is because gratitude cultivates a mindset of positivity, rewiring the brain to notice and appreciate the good rather than dwelling on the negative. And why sometimes imagining up each morning with a simple ritual of the 3 things you are grateful for. These could be as grand as achieving a personal win or as simple as the warmth of sunlight streaming through your window. Over time, this practice trains the mind to seek out the positives of life, even in challenging circumstances. For instance, during difficult times, gratitude helps us find silver linings and main hope. It allows us to recognize that, even in the midst of adversity, there are still things to be thankful for: a kind word from a friend, a moment of peace, or the strength to persevere. Gratitude also deepens our relationships by a sense of connection and appreciation. When we express gratitude to others, we acknowledge their contributions to our lives and strengthen the bonds we share. A simple thank you can go a long way in making someone feel valued and respected beyond words. Acts of gratitude, such as writing a heartfelt note, offering a helping hand, or giving a thoughtful gift, create a ripple effect kindness that can transform not only individual relationships but entire communities. In this way, gratitude becomes a bridge that connects to others, reminding us of our shared humanity. Furthermore, gratitude shifts our relationship with time. It anchors us in the present moment, encouraging us to savor life's fleeting joys instead of constantly chasing future goals or dwelling on past regrets. When we practice gratitude, we become more mindful of the beauty and wonder that surrounds us. The laughter of children, the fragrance of blooming flowers, the taste of a favorite dish. These moments, overlooked in the rush of daily life, take on new significance when viewed through the lens of gratitude. They remind us that life's most precious treasures are often found in its simplest pleasures. Gratitude also has a profound impact on our found fulfillment. By focusing on what we have rather than what we lack, we cultivate a sense of abundance that empowers us to give back. This is evident in the stories of countless individuals who, despite facing significant hardships, have used their gratitude as a catalyst for positive change. Consider the example of someone who has overcome illness or loss and chooses to dedicate their life to helping others facing similar challenges. Their gratitude for their own journey fuels a sense of purpose that inspires others and creates a legacy of compassion. On a broader scale, gratitude can transform how we interact with the world. When we approach life with a grateful heart, we become more attuned to the interconnectedness of all things. We recognize that our well-being is intertwined with the well-being of others and the planet. This awareness inspires us to live more consciously, to take care of our environment, and to contribute to the greater good. Acts of gratitude, whether through volunteering, donating to a cause, or simply spreading positivity, create a ripple effect that extends far beyond ourselves. This ripple effect is not limited to grand gestures. Even small acts of gratitude can have a profound impact. A smile, a compliment, or a moment of genuine appreciation can brighten someone's day and inspire them to pass it on. Gratitude, in this sense, is both deeply personal and universally transformative. It is within us, but has the power to shape the world around us. One of the most powerful aspects of gratitude to transform challenges into opportunities for growth. When we face difficulties, it is easy to succumb to frustration or despair. However, gratitude invites us to view these experiences through a different lens. It encourages us to ask, what can I learn from this?